My name is C.V.Akuta. A few days ago, I read on the news that Governor of Ebonyi State sent 204 people from Ebonyi State on scholarship to the UK. So this episode, we look into this government policy or government program. Now, like I said in my intro, I read on the online paper that Governor Francis Nwifuru sent people from Ebonyi to the UK to study. This is wonderful. This is excellent. This is highly commendable. I love things like this. But of course, that's why they were elected as governors in the first place. People elect them to better their lives. That's part of the governance. It's worthy of commendation because governors at times forget why they were elected and begin to do something different. And I also read that Governor Francis Nwifuru, all his children are in public schools in Nigeria. So for a governor whose children are in public schools and then he has the mind to send people on scholarship to UK is commendable. He also said that over 8,000 people from Ebonyi will benefit from the scholarship before his tenure runs out. That is also another good statement. I pray he fulfills this statement. I pray it comes to reality. And I also pray other Southeast governors can emulate him and begin to award scholarships overseas, begin to send students overseas, at least go and read specialized courses, that will help to better the states and the Southeast zone in the whole. Now, the governor also made a comment that again, that's what to highlight here. The governor said to the scholars that are going to overseas, he told them not to behave like Simon Ekpa. That Simon Ekpa went on scholarship, apparently with maybe, let's say, a Ebonyi State government scholarship to Finland, and only for him to get to Finland and begin to, according to him, begin to cause havoc, in Nigeria. Simon Ekpa is the leader of autopilot, Biafra Agitation Group based in Finland. So the governor said to the scholars that they should not behave like Simon Ekpa. Although this is a good advice coming from the governor, but however, it's still up to the scholars or people, these guys going on scholarship to know what to do. The adults, I believe they'll be able to know what to do because you don't actually tell an adult what to do or what not to do. But it's also good to say, But for me, what I will need to chip in here is they should realize and remember that whatever action they take will have a reaction. So it's better for them to not to cause problem or maybe join a group that will cause problem, because every action they take will also come with reaction. Now, sending people overseas to study is beneficial in so many ways. One, it will expose the scholars to the UK educational system and the Western educational system. The scholars will be able to interact with students from all over the world. They'll be able to mingle, and then the scholars can easily be able to get visa to America and Canada. Being a student in the UK, you can apply to America and Canada for visiting visa. The scholars can also be able to go to European countries. They can easily go to the embassy and apply for visa. So long as you are a student in the UK, you can do all these things. They can also be able to get jobs to do. One, if you're a student in the UK, you're allowed to do 20 hours during the term, and then you're allowed to do 40 hours during the holiday. So they can be able to get jobs to do. And they will not be under pressure because the government of Ebonyi State is paying for their tuition fee and also paying for their accommodation fee. Average tuition fee in the UK at the moment is about £15,000 for most courses, the average. But I don't know the courses they are coming here to do. But of course, some courses are more expensive, like MBA is more than 15,000. And if you're coming to do medicine, I think it's much more than £15,000. So I don't know the breakdown of the courses they are coming here to do. It might vary. But a rough estimate, assuming the 204 scholars are to pay £15,000 for their tuition fee, that's going to be about, I think about £3,060,000. And then if you multiply that by, let's assume the exchange rate is, let's say, £1 to, let's say, 2,000 naira. So if you multiply £3 million with 2,000 naira, that's going to be giving you about 6 point something billion naira. That's tuition fee alone. So if you add the accommodation fee and maybe allowances, that's going to be maybe more than, say, 7 billion or 8 billion. So that's a huge investment the state government is making on these Ebonyi indigenes. So it's fantastic. It's for them to utilize this opportunity given to them by the government. So the government has done wonderfully well on this note. I commend them. Wherever I see a good thing, I will commend them. Wherever I see a good thing happening, any part of the southeast, in Nigeria, I will comment. Whenever I see bad thing, then I will also highlight that. So it's a good thing. And then if they are working in the UK, peradventure, let's say they get maybe job while they are studying here in the UK, while they are working, let's say if they're doing 20 hours during the term, they will be making money, and then money will be making some change. So they will have some money maybe to, well, support their living or support their life or whatever. So while they are working in the UK, let's not forget this. They are also contributing to the growth of the UK economy because they will pay taxes to the government of UK. They will pay national insurance to the UK. Then they will buy what they will eat. They will buy food from the shops like Tesco, Asda, Sainsbury. So while they are shopping, they are also paying VAT, value added tax. So invariably or indirectly, directly and indirectly, they are also contributing to the growth of the UK economy. As well as whenever they send money back to Nigeria, they are also contributing also to the development of the Nigerian economy or Ebonyi economy. So it works two ways. So while they are supporting their families with the change or the money they will send, some of them might build houses or train people back home. They are also helping the economy to grow. However, don't forget that the foreign remittances from Nigerians in diaspora accounts for the second largest sources of foreign exchange in Nigeria. The money remittances from Nigerians overseas counts for the second largest source of foreign exchange in Nigeria. So that's huge. So while it's gonna be a brain drain from Nigeria, from Ebonyi, it's also gonna be a brain gain for Ebonyi State. So it's win-win situation. Now, I have few advices for these scholars coming to the UK to study. Now, one of the advice I will have to give is, look, when you come to the UK, just work hard, study hard. The sky is just gonna be a limit. If you study hard and have like high grade, I can assure you, you get employment opportunities. It's either you get in the UK or you get overseas. Just come here, lie low, study hard, work hard, don't commit any offense, you know. So these are the few advice I have to give. Ask people that are here before you, ask them for their experiences, ask them where they've made some mistakes so that you don't repeat the same mistakes again they've made. You know, lie low, work hard, and then don't be in a hurry to make it. Don't be in a hurry to achieve greatness. It is stage by stage, you know. So that's by the way. However, there was also something interesting from the picture from them. You could see they wore Ishiago attire. That's like Igbo regalia. So they can easily be identified as people from the southeast. The identity cannot be in question. That's wonderful. I love that. Governor Wilfred has also scored a point here by the dressing of these scholars. And then the crown jewel of this was that they also walked into APs. So which means they flew APs. That's wonderful. That's like scoring another goal. You know, flying APs means that you're putting back money in the Nigerian economy. You are promoting made in Nigeria. That is fantastic. I wish everybody would just be following these footsteps. That's commendable. That's worthy to highlight and then commend the governor for doing that. I can't thank him enough for these initiatives he's on. However, I also need to point out the challenges these guys will face, particularly the cultural shock they will have. At least within the first 6 months they will be in the UK, they might struggle to understand what they might struggle to understand an average Brit when they speak. And when they speak also, the Brit or the British people or people around them might not really understand them because our accent is somehow heavy and we speak a bit faster. But in this case, you speak slowly, you can be able to communicate with anybody. When you speak slowly, people will understand you. That is number one. Number two is a mode of teaching in Nigeria and the UK. They are different, especially when it comes to essay writing. And you do more of essays when you are doing your masters and PhD. PhD is more like researches, and masters you do more essays in most of the modules you do. So they might have a bit of challenge the first 6 months. In the UK, uses most of the universities in the UK use Harvard reference system. You know, if you are writing an essay, you need to reference using the Harvard referencing system, which is not too popular in Nigeria. But again, if they study, they will overcome this. Now, another challenge they will have here is the UK weather is cold. 9 months out of 12 months here is cold or are cold. It's cold here. You know, so they will be affected by the cold. At times they might even they might have flu or cold might anyway is common here. Then the weather is depressing because I don't know, it's depressing. It's a lonely society, particularly if you are new here. I live in the UK, so I know what I'm saying. The weather is depressing. The weather can be cold. At times, you leave your house in the dark, maybe come back in the dark. Let's assume you are doing like a 12-hour shift. You leave house maybe 7 in the morning. It will be dark during the winter. And you come back 7 at night, it's also be dark. So you leave house in the dark and come back in the dark. So that's gonna be depressing. So in the UK, 1 out of every 4 people has mental health problem. one out of every four, according to statistics. So those people coming from these guys coming from Nigeria are walking into these statistics. So let's assume that out of these 204 people coming to the UK, 51 of them will end up having mental health problem if they stay in the UK, going by the statistics in the UK. So they better take care of themselves and their mental health. But however, mental health issues varies. It varies. It's huge. It varies. So yeah, it varies. So that's gonna be a topic for a different day, a different episode. Also, some of them might have marital issues. Coming over here might pose some challenges to either the husband or to the wife. So they might likely have some maybe marital breakups or marital challenges when you come in the country. So these are potential dangers and challenges and cultural shocks they will face. But of course, coming here also will also help them to bring their families. So bring, maybe wife can be able to bring husband can be able to bring wife with time. They can bring their children with time, or they can bring their parents with time, depending on the policy the government has in place. But they can be able to bring in their partners, and again too, they can also reside in the UK if they finish their university education. Maybe when they graduate, they can maybe get working permit here in the UK. They are willing to settlement in the UK here. So moving on. I also suggest to them when they come to the UK, they should look for maybe Ebonyi state unions or community unions, any part of the UK they are, and join and help to build those unions, and maybe help to build the unions back home. They should not forget home. But the reality is that they might likely miss home, and home might likely miss them. Of course, when this number of people leaves a state like Ebonyi back to overseas, that means the population of Ebonyi is now less by 204 people. And this has some implications. For example, during the voting, that means there will be lesser people to vote at Ebonyi State. And this accounts for why the population of the Southeast is a bit less in comparison to other regions in Nigeria. But however, like I said initially, going abroad to study also has its own benefits. Like, these guys are able to get international jobs, they're able to get international exposure, they're able to maybe migrate freely, they're able to make money and remit money back home. So it comes with its pros and cons. But in a nutshell, I think the pros are higher than the cons for me. For others, the cons might also be higher than the pros. So once more, I wish to use this opportunity to thank the governor of Ebonyi State once more. I can't thank him enough for this initiative. I also pray and wish other Southeast governors can key into this and then send other people to go and study overseas, specialized courses that will help to grow the economy of the Southeast. If you have any comment to make, please kindly drop them in the comment section. Thank you, and bye. Until we again. Bye bye.